Hello, we are going to go through a few floor-based exercises to help strengthen the areas that support your pelvic floor. So we're going to be needing a band that can wrap around your knees in order to work the outside of our hips, our glutes. You can use a ball or a pillow that we're going to use to strengthen our inner thighs because our inner thighs connect up into our pelvic floor. And you're going to need the floor. So we're going to go through a few different movements. I want you to start with me on your back. And just remember that when I'm saying engage, we're using it on the exhale and we're trying to connect the strength of the outer muscles with our pelvic floor contraction, letting go when we're doing the easier parts of the movement. So this is a new coordination part of mastering the basics, okay? So come on onto the ground. I'm gonna move my ball over and we're gonna start with the band outside of our knees, okay? Now make sure your band isn't all twisted like mine because it gets quite uncomfortable quite fast. And I want you to come and lie down on your back. Now, when we're doing a bridge, we are pushing through our feet, lifting up through our hips, and ideally contracting our pelvic floor a little bit. And when you come down, you're letting it go. So I want you to join me. We're gonna do about 12 repetitions, and we're gonna lift our hips as we exhale, lower our hips as we inhale, okay? 3, 2, and 1. Take a breath in. As you exhale, start by connecting to your pelvic floor, gently contracting, pushing through your feet, lifting your hips up off the ground. Inhale, let it go. Exhale again, contract the pelvic floor, push through your feet. Now can you think about pushing out against the band without losing all the other pieces? Let it go. Exhale. Inhale. Relax the knees and then push the knees out as you push your feet into the ground, contracting through your pelvic floor. It's a lot. I totally get it. And again. Now, I tend to just keep my knee pressure consistent as I go up and down, and that allows me to focus on my pelvic floor a little bit more. We're halfway. My hand is my pelvic floor. As I exhale and lift, I contract. As I inhale, I let go, I relax my butt cheeks. 5 more. Good. Let it go. You should start to feel the sides of your hips burning a little bit. 4. Good. Keeping that pressure, relaxing and contracting the pelvic floor. Last 2 more. You might notice that one side is a little bit more active than the other. Mine is definitely my left side, so I'm focusing on working my left hip, contracting my pelvic floor, and let it go. Ha! Okay, remove your band and come and meet me in a tabletop position. Now, when I said my left side feels a little bit weaker, I didn't mean my left pelvic floor, I meant my left hip, just to be clear. Okay, so we're gonna turn into our hands and our knees. Now we're getting into what's called tabletop rocks or bear planks. The big one with this is the more your knees hover off the ground, the more you're gonna want to pressure down on your pelvic floor. I want the movement to be like this. When I shift my weight into my hands, I exhale, and the pressure and strength is going up my body and out my mouth. You don't need to hover your knees, especially if this is your first time doing it. But come join me. We're gonna go from here. As we exhale, we move into our hands and we try to draw the low belly towards our spine, firming it up, all right? 3, 2, and 1. Exhale. Push the weight into your hands. Imagine what you would need to do to hover the knees. Let it go. Exhale. Inhale, let it go. Can you start this from your pelvic floor? Inhale, nice work. Getting a little bit more awareness on where's the pressure going. The pressure should feel like it's pouring out your mouth rather than bearing down and filling your leggings with pressure, okay? Halfway there. Now, I find this exercise forever hard because from here, you could just weigh into your hands, hover your knees, and lower it back down. Okay, you have 4 more. I tend to hinge back and forth. I don't think you need to. It just gives me the sense of like, let it go. 2 last ones. Let it go. 1 last one. Great. Okay, moving on to our last exercise, which we have 2 sides of. We're going to be doing a ball squeeze. So our inner thighs, again, connect up into our pelvic floor, and they work with our obliques to keep us sturdy when we're upright. They help to stabilize the pelvis as well. So put your ball between your knees. If you're someone who has some shoulder pain, I want you to go from here, squeezing through your knees and lifting up without putting too much weight through your shoulder. If you're someone who feels pretty sturdy and strong there, then what you're going to be doing is lifting your hips up, squeezing your knees together, and lowering your hips back down. You can also try this on a couch and just holding that position, breathing in and breathing out, and it'll be less pressure and less strain through the shoulder. Totally up to you. Also, this works fine. And letting it go. Okay, options. So we're going to go here. I want to do 8 on each side, and we're going to see how we feel. So, coordination. I'm exhaling, squeezing through my legs and my pelvic floor as I lift my hips. Inhale, let everything go. Exhale, connect through your thighs, up into your pelvic floor, and let it go. Exhale. Inhale, release. Exhale. Inhale, let it go. Squeezing the knees all the way up the belly. Release halfway. You can do this from your hand. Inhale. It's just further to go, so it's harder on your core. Release. 2 more. Good. Last one. Okay, so you can see how that becomes even more dynamic, right? Because we're moving in space. We are trying to coordinate our mid and side body, which is not as usual for us because we're forward walking people. So it can feel a little bit harder to notice what the heck your pelvic floor is doing. But we practice and you get better at it and you'll feel better about it, okay? So moving on to our other side, we're gonna do 8 on the right. And we're gonna lift, squeezing our legs together. 3, 2, breathe in, let everything go. Exhale, connect, squeeze through the legs, up through the pelvic floor, and hover. Inhale, release. And up. And let it go. So you can see how this is really working that whole canister, pelvic floor, deep lower abdominals, oblique sling that is wrapping around our belly. And our side butts. I mean, like check, 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 check. And again. Good. Now we have 4 last ones. Three. Release. 2. I'm a big put your hand where you want to be working. And 1. And what I notice with my stomach when I'm doing that is that A, my hand isn't being pushed out by my belly, because that would be a pressure belly. And I can feel the movement lifting in and up. And that's kind of that direction of the pressure that we want. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. We're gonna go through those exercises one more time. And I want you to come lie down on your back. So remembering that with our bridges, we are pushing out against the band to get a little bit more activity through the side booty. And as you lift your hips, you're thinking about contracting through your pelvic floor, okay? So start with a nice broad chest. I want you to think about leading the movement with your pubic bone and not with your belly button. And we're gonna take a deep breath in. As you exhale, contract through your pelvic floor, push through your feet, lift up your hips. Inhale down. Relax the pelvic floor, contract as you go up. Inhale, let it go. Exhale up. And up. Nice work. We're at 5. If you're noticing this in your back, I want you to think about tucking your pelvis a little bit more. Pushing those knees out equally against the band. Last 3. Take your time. I was rushing myself. My pelvic floor was like, I'm not sure what's going on. 2. Good, last one. Amazing. Okay, lower that down, relax the pelvic floor, remove your band, and come find me on your hands and your knees. That gets it, hey? It's kind of nice that you've probably done so many bridges, but when you're thinking about it in a different way and a bit more mindfully, you get so much more activity. All right, so if you found in the first round that your hands or wrists were a little bit sore, using 2 dumbbells under your hands can be really comfortable, or have a little towel underneath your wrists so that they're not totally flat on the ground, okay? So we're going with our either tabletop rocks to the front or hovering through the knees. I'm gonna go, I don't know, I kind of go random, but you'll see me as I do it. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Here, as we exhale, we push our weight into our hands, pushing through our arms, trying to imagine hovering the knees up. Inhale, let it go. And again. And let it go. Feeling the direction of the engagement coming in and up through the body. Let it go. And again. Awesome work. If you want to hover the knees, give it a try. What would you need to do? You're halfway there. We have 6 more to go. 6. 5. 4. Notice how my spine stays straight as I go through the movement. 3. 2. Last one. Good. Now, a little note on the posture piece. Remember this idea of the pressure canister? If I was in this position and I was arching through my back and I tried hovering, my pressure would be bearing down through my pelvic floor, and I felt it immediately. Noticing the length between your back ribs and hips and front ribs and hips is a really good cue to keep in mind as you move through all of these workouts, because that is aligning your canister one on top of another. Last exercise, coming onto the ground. Now, you probably figured out in your own home what it's like on your elbow versus your hand versus just staying here. So again, pick what is right for you and start somewhere where you can feel your pelvic floor the most. If this is your first time and you're like, I'm so confused, I would really recommend squeeze the knees, contract the pelvic floor, keep the hips on the ground, and let it go, okay? Let's do 8 on each side and then we'll be all done. All right, 3, 2, push yourself away from the ground. Inhale, let everything go. Exhale, squeeze the ball, contract the pelvic floor, lift the hips if you want to. Inhale, let it go. Exhale, squeeze, contract and lift. Let it go. I probably should have started with this suggestion the first round, but we're here. Exhale, contract and lift. Inhale, let it go. Exhale again. This is what the full movement would look like. We have 3 more. Letting it go. Last 2. Release. Last one. And let it go. Switch sides. Boom, 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 boom. Now, moving on to the other side. You might notice one side is easier for you. Doesn't really matter, just good to notice. And I would probably squeeze my ball or fill it a little bit more because I'm like squeezing a lot to get it there, but that's fine. All right, so from here, taking a breath in, exhale, pushing out away from the ground through your shoulder, connecting through that ball on your pelvic floor as you lift or not, okay? Let it go. Humility is huge when we're learning a new skill, and I often find I see with clients is that they're doing more than their body's ready for, and they're just muscling through. And our bodies are amazing at muscling through things, but it doesn't mean that you're engaging from the right place. So I'd rather you slow down and do it right and really feel what you're supposed to feel and build from there so you don't lose the quality foundation that you're working so hard to establish. 4 more. Inhale, let it go. And again. This is still hard. 2 more. And last one. So for the next time that you do this, or if you're gonna do another round, I want you to notice the feeling of what's going on in your shorts or leggings or pants. Notice if you feel a difference from when you're engaging and things are moving up and away from the gusset in your pants, or if you push down and relax, you can feel more of like a filling. So there should be that type of movement, unless it's just me who as a pelvic floor physio is like super tuned into her pelvic floor, probably do an issue amount. Okay, I hope that felt good. Go through that 3rd round if you were just starting to figure it out. The 3rd round can really make all the difference, and I will see you soon.